Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome. For me, a very cool afternoon. It's just turned afternoon in South London. Very cool, very brisk, very cold when walking the dogs. How are we all? No Tottenham this weekend. No Tottenham this weekend. Thank God, some might say. Others very upset by it. But Tottenham Hotspur are not playing this weekend. Neither any of the Premier League teams. Instead, we have international games, and soon they'll all be over, and we'll be back to the nitpicking, the fighting, the rowing, the arguing that is the Premier League. Thank you, first and foremost. Thank you to anybody on here who did come over and show me some support on Friday night on bigup.com for Spurs for Denmark v Spain. Thank you very much. A few of you came over. I really did appreciate it. And just so you know, there is a link pinned this afternoon at 4:30. I'll be on bigup.com again for England versus Ireland. If some of you would get over there and support me, that really would be appreciated. And anybody in the chat who came over, please let people know what you thought. I think it's a really nice platform. It's really easy to converse. There's a threads option. There's gifts as well. So we'll be doing that later. This morning, I thought we'd have a little Q&A session. I'll look at some questions. We'll talk about them as a topic. And of course, you'll get unfiltered, honest, no bullshit being blown up your ass because, yay, we just support Spurs. So everything's brilliant and we have to be the best. I'll call it out for what it is because unlike those people, I want what's best for my club. I want to win things. I want this club to go that way. I don't want us to go this way, which we are under Ange, Postecoglou. So we'll get to that part of the show in a minute. And at 7:30 tonight, I've got a really good panel for you. We have got Marlon from Spurs Kings TV, Dan, the Spurs Danalist. We have got Lubo, and we've got Dan E from the Hotspur Hood. So join us for that at 7:30. And there's been a lot of articles coming out in the last week or so about Spurs. The media have started to pick up now that the form under this manager is actually crap. They're starting to look at players not being happy, the body language of the interviews, the body language of the players' interviews. And we're going into that Spurs cycle, aren't we? We are going into that cycle. And yes, something I get asked a lot on my travels, is, oh, aren't you bored of changing managers? Of course I'm bored of changing managers, but that doesn't mean that I just want to stick with a crap manager, if I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm sorry. I know people like him. I'll have the debate with anyone. I just don't rate him at all as a football manager. And I've got some things to show you this morning that will show you how this is listen, crap might be harsh, but what an extremely average manager. Look, that's just for me. Listen, that doesn't take away from the fact that I think Daniel Levy and co have done what Daniel Levy and co do. But I think as a fan base, I think we flip-flop very quickly from, oh my God, we're amazing. We are amazing. Look at this summer. Look at this manager. Look at the style of football. So when it starts not going well, it's, oh, but he's only had 18 months, which is a bloody long time, by the way. He's only had 18 months and, oh, he wasn't backed. And our fans can't quite make their minds up as to what their opinions are. And this is why when I get people saying to me, yeah, just get behind the club and support them. I support the club. I don't support this regime or the manager. I love Tottenham Hotspur. I don't have to love Daniel Levy. I don't have to love Ange, right? I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan, contrary to the beliefs that I'm now an Arsenal fan. Anyway, that's going to follow me around for a fair while, isn't it, on the internet? The memes I get sent to me every day from people being an Arsenal fan. Listen, what I will always do is I will always offer facts. I will always offer what is actually happening rather than what I think should be happening. If people love Ange, love him, crack on. Got no problem with anyone who wants to love him. But you have to admit to yourself, he's not doing well. And we'll have a look at that. Let's see who's in the chat. We'll say hello to a few people and we'll take it from there, shall we? Let's keep it sensible. We want this to be a sensible channel. Please don't talk badly about other YouTube creators. Listen, if you want to say, oh, I saw this opinion, I didn't agree with it, fine. But let's not be calling them names and stuff in the chat. I don't want to be like the other channel. Obviously, you've just seen a video that's been made about me, and then every vile comment made about me was brought up onto the screen. That's promoting harassment. It's promoting abuse. That's fine. it doesn't bother me per se, but it's just not right. It's not the behaviors that should be trending. Big up to Finn Rickwood in the chat. I hope you're well. He has said, yes, sorry, just quickly before we go in, I have put a poll out. The poll says, has Ange done a good job in 18 months? The options are yes or no. I expected more, or he has exceeded my expectations. 3% said he's exceeded their expectations. I can only assume that expectations are low. So far, only 65 votes. So let's get that to 100, 150 odd votes, and we'll start really looking at that. And please do smash the like button as you come in. It's free to smash the like button. Again, contrary to belief, I'm not asking anybody for any money. Smash the like button. Only 37 of you have. Don't listen to lies. Lies are bad, people. When grown men start lying on the internet, you know the world is in trouble. You know the world is in trouble. FC25, I said, Romero is injured and Bentancur suspension. We are done against City, Savva. I don't think it matters if both of them play. For me particularly, I think that, as I said the other day before I was called a Man City and Arsenal fan, I think Man City, listen, I can't imagine this run will go on. I really can't imagine that this run will go on from Man City. This is going to be their first home game for 5. They don't lose at home. I mean, they've not lost at home since November 2022. So they've not lost at home for 2 years. If we're the first team to do it, I just can't see it. We're so wide open. And look what Ipswich did to us. So we'll see. Donna, this is going to be the last thing I'm going to say. Please, can you keep the comments normal? I don't want my channel to be this silly. So please keep the comments normal. Thank you very much. As I said to you there, please keep them normal. Mario 2012 said, good morning, 7 all in the chat. I've saved this. We're going to come to this in a minute. This is a good question. We're going to come to this in a minute. And here is the link for 4:30 today. 4:30 today. It might be 4:45. We will have that conversation a little bit later. England, Ireland, 4:30, 4:45 on bigup.com. Toxic headshot. I've seen your comment. I've saved that as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. Philly said, big up my brother from another mother, Savva, and everyone in the chat this morning. Big up, Philly. Hope you're well, my man. Hope you are good. We are Spurs TV. Said, big up. What platform is this Q&A on? It's on YouTube. You can see it's on YouTube. We're live on YouTube right now. Nige, big up, Nige. One of my favorites. How you doing? Another one of my favorites, Ethan Bates. How we doing, sir? And Avi, always looking out to see what I'm eating. Avi, you'll be happy to know. Look, just a glass of water at the moment. No takeaways. Big up to you. Big up to Bella in the chat. Big up to you. Hope you are well. We are Spurs TV. I said Spurs Kings last video was good. Yeah, Spurs Kings. Great channel. Should have more subscribers. Got, what was it? Must have been about 20, 25 content creators to start to talk about Ange's reign. What you did notice was how many people now are actually starting to say, he's got to change. This isn't going great. It's all changed in the fan base, hasn't it? It's all changed. Lots of these people were telling you third and title races. It's all changed. Big up, Nige. Yeah, it's a good platform. Big up to you. Big up to Less Known. A morning, Sean. I don't know if that's aimed at, I don't know what's going on there. Big up to Tom Thacker. Hope you're well. Big up to Ben Harris. Anthony Clark's in the chat. How you doing, bro? Haskenhoff is in the chat. So is Tony Rodriguez. So is Billy Wilson. Too many people. Here's Svarog BG is in the chat as well. Lots and lots of you. If I do this all day, I will never actually get to the content of the show. So now is the time. If you've got questions, don't all chuck them in right now, because if you do, we'll never actually get round to them. So start filtering in some questions. Let's have a look. Dominic Carney said 18 months is an average amount of time for a manager to get fans. Need to get over this Pep Klopp Ferguson situations. I don't actually understand what you mean by that. 18 months is an average amount of time for a manager. Get fans need to get over this. I don't know what you mean, Dominic. Can you break that down for me? I'm not reading that correctly, I don't think. Philly has said 3% so far have agreed that Ange has met their expectations. The big question is, what were their expectations? Absolutely. By the way, we're hearing news today that Christian Romero has come back to Tottenham early from South America. So it looks like he probably won't play next week against Man City. I don't know for sure, but that would look likely. Again, I think Spurs rushed him back for the Ipswich game. I think then he shouldn't have gone with Argentina. Spursy is the word. Spursy is the word. Jackal70 said at the moment, watching England is a pleasant relief from Tottenham. I don't know about England. Yeah, look, listen, England, I watch it because I want to know what's going on. I never feel the same passion I used to with England now, but England-Ireland should be a good game. Less known. Just waking up. Where should I place your? Just put your question in the chat. Just put your question in the chat. Obviously, any super chats will be read out first, but I will get round to questions. Ben has said leaked stories apparently from inside the camp of players' unrest is the start of a very slippery slope for Ange. It's a when and not if now, a drubbing away from a difficult conversation. Listen, I've been having this conversation. Hang on. No, thank you. I've been having this difficult conversation for nearly a year that I don't particularly rate this guy. We seem to be, I'll get to the questions in a minute. We seem to be in this kind of rotation at Spurs, don't we? Where this happens, Ben. Everyone loses their mind and gets carried away. We've been through that stage. The honeymoon period, everyone lost their minds. Ange is wonderful. The football's great. Everyone lost their minds. We're winning league titles. It was all so very silly. We've been through that stage. We then get to the stage where we have a transfer window, which is 50-50 in terms of half the fan base are going, this is crap. The other half of the fan base are going, oh my God, it's good because they're all young and they're going to play and they're brilliant and they're world class and Ange loves them and blah, blah, blah. Then you get to the results starting to not go our way. And that's been happening for a year now. The results start to be very off and on, very hit and miss. And people start to question the results. Off the back of that, the manager starts to have some very aggy press conferences. Now, this is the cycle at Spurs. This isn't Ange, by the way. Then we start to get leaks about players not being happy. Leaks about this player said this player wanted to do this. We're hearing that Romero has said things at the back end of last season, like he doesn't like this style of play in defence. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. You know, we're starting to hear that he's fallen out with Maddison. You can see that from on the pitch. It looks like it. Apparently, Udogie and Vicario and others are not happy with the manager. The press get onto this and we go in that vicious cycle. And you're right. It is an if, not a when. That's how we work. And for me, I'll start this off by saying, right? People always say to me, oh, who comes in and wins then? I'm like, whoa. This isn't about who comes in and wins. This is about who comes in and can settle. Like, just some normality. And I'm going to show you some league tables in a minute that show you just how much of an average job this manager has done whilst people are losing their minds and telling you that he's great. I just want a manager that doesn't win 1 week to Villa, lose the next to Ipswich. Like, it's just, it's crazy. I want a manager that goes away to Galatasaray, realises and puts some respect on their name and doesn't go gung-ho in Galatasaray. I just want a normal manager that does normal management things. And at the moment, this guy he says mate a lot. Everyone seems to love that. It's who we are. It's what we are. Well, what we are is a team that lose a lot of games of football. A lot of games of football. I'm seeing some questions coming up. I'm going to get to the first question in a minute. I won't be able to get to all of them. Ethan said, everyone knows a manager's time is up, rightly or wrongly, whenever there's discontent in the camp. Yeah, look, the noises that are coming out from the camp is just starting to grow, isn't it? It's starting to be Tottenham. Big up, Dan, the Hotspur Hood. Absolutely, Dan. One thing, tell these people to smash the like button. 60 likes. It's a travesty. Yes, funny how the player's not happy. A lot of defenders. From what we're hearing, again, it's always difficult, Dan, isn't it? We're hearing that a lot of them, we're hearing that a lot of players are unhappy. I don't know. We don't know for sure, but it does sound like it would be true. And again, Vicario, Udogie, Romero, they're all being asked to play this suicidal tactic, which again, I've said, I wouldn't want to play for this tactic. Would you? If you were a top player across Europe, are you looking at Ange's defense and thinking, I want to join that? I'm not sure you are. So, let's get some questions. By the way, as I said, please don't chuck them all in at once, which people really, really have already. Big up Bella, who's put in a super chat. Thank you very much. I said, the time zone is hard for me for watch-alongs on. Big up Bella, completely appreciate that. Completely appreciate it. It's not going to be for everyone, but thank you. I have had 41 people already go over there and show me their support. 41 people have become members on that community. And I do appreciate those people. Danny has said, bring back Poch. Do you know what? I wasn't even someone who wanted Poch back, but if you offered me Poch over this guy all day, every day, Poch is superior to this manager. Absolutely superior in every way, shape, or form. Right, so I've got some questions up. So let's start going through them. Ken T quickly said, Ange has no one to blame but himself. I completely agree with you. Mahfouz said, I think the consistency is more down to mentality. Yeah, but listen, Mahfouz, the problem is this isn't the same group of players under Conte and Jose. This is where when people just chuck away these, no offense, these lazy narratives down to mentality. This is what everyone told me he was changing. He was changing the mentality. I keep getting told every time he signs a player, that's an Ange player. Then when we don't do well, it's the player's mentality. But they were Ange players. I'm confused as to all of the excuses that come out from this fan base are just absolutely crazy. Let's have a look at the first question. Big up Mario 2012 said, good morning, Savva, and all in the chat. Good morning to you, Mario. Said, question, based on our last few games, has the squad given up? I wouldn't say the squad has given up. What I would say is I'm seeing a squad that, when they want to, can pull games out of the hat, right? Villa, City. When they're not at it, performances like Crystal Palace, Galatasaray, Ipswich. And this tells me that it's many things. One, are the players good enough? I've said for years I don't think they are, but I think they're good enough not to be losing to Ipswich and Palace in 3 Premier League games. We shouldn't be losing to Ipswich and Palace in 2 of those 3. But equally, I don't think a lot of these players actually like this style of football. I think it's crazy. I think it is so amateur. It's unbelievable. Big up Mario. Thank you for the question. I mean, look, we'll see, won't we? Problem is we win a game and it will be, oh, the squad are playing for him. We lose, we've given up. And it's just eat, sleep and repeat. Toxic Headshot has said, discuss the apparent fallout between players and manager. This feels like the Tottenham heritage. That's a great question, isn't it? Yeah. Look, I feel like, again, when I say we need a normal manager, I feel like we had Jose and Conte, who are massive personalities, winners, massive personalities, winners, right? Who, if you bring them in, you've got to turn around and say, right, get him that 70 million centre back, that 70 million defensive midfielder, those top wing backs, whatever, right? You've got to, and we didn't. For me, never going to work with either of those. Never going to work with either of those. Ange is the complete opposite. Ange is, for me, somebody who goes completely gung-ho, completely dismisses the defensive duties of the game. In 18 months, look how bad our defence looks. Look how bad we were at defending crosses against Ipswich, Crystal Palace, Galatasaray. Like, he hasn't sorted out those things in 18 months. So for me, the fallout, apparent fallout between players and manager, if true, we've got to always add that caveat. Doesn't surprise me one bit. As I've said, I know a few pro footballers. I know they wouldn't want to play this style. It's crazy. It's too much. It's too every game. Oh, it's who we are. What? Wide open for teams like Ipswich to come to White Hart Lane and score 2 goals. That should never happen, should it? That should never happen. So big up to you, Toxic Headshot. Phil Coys has said, good day to you. Sorry, good day to you, Savva. One question I'd like to ask. Do you think our captain Sonny and our leadership group were picked out of popularity and not for the right reasons? Hashtag Savva Laguna. Thank you, Phil. Yes, but also who is there? Who is there? In the last year and a half, I don't think this manager's gone and bought a single leader. I don't think he's brought anyone into this club where you go captain material. I think he's gone again. I think he buys nice guys. I think if you look at all of his signings, Solanke's a nice guy. Madison's a nice guy. Van der Ven's a nice guy. You know what I mean? They're all, Brennan Johnson's a nice guy. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a nice guy, but we need someone with that little bit of steel, that bit of metal, that leadership. And he's not gone and bought it. And the problem is, Phil, he told us. He told us 2 weeks ago, I don't want to buy it. I believe in growing that. That for me is just amateur. That's what I would expect from a Sunday league manager to say. So for me, I get you. I think he's picked it on popularity. Who is there? Who is a captain in this squad? I don't think any of our leadership team are captains. I just don't think they are. Dominic Carney said 18 months is average. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we saw that one. Daniela Stewart, big up Daniela, has said, question from a non-Spurs fan. Do you agree it's harder for London clubs to win the league due to the number of derbies? Great question. I mean, look, it's a difficult one because whether they're London derbies or not, you're still, if you are in a title race, not Spurs, but if you are in a title race, then you're good enough to be in a title race. So you should be beating those teams. When Chelsea, when Arsenal, I think they're the only two London teams that have won the Premier League. I think they're the only two. When they had those really great teams, they didn't seem to struggle in London derbies. They kind of went about their business. They were good enough. They won the league. I mean, Arsenal had the year when they went invincible. Chelsea had that year where I think they conceded like 20 goals or 18 goals in a season. So for me, I don't think it's the differentiator. London derbies, for me, they're just another game, right? They are just another game. But good question. I really like that. I'll get back to some of those questions in a minute. Let's just see who we've got in the chat. Mr. Khan said, Savva, I've been a Spurs fan since 1990. I've been through it all, and this ownership is terrible. I can't agree with you more. Can't agree with you more, Mr. Khan. Absolutely. Big up Bella for joining the community. Thank you very much. Hotspur Hood has said, Ipswich manager might be good. An ex-Spurs boy knows the club. Look, for me, I just want a manager that, as I've said, Dan, look, you and I speak every day. I just want a normal manager. I want a normal manager, right? These gung-ho tactics. And again, look, when you see here, I'm just going to completely disagree with this. Spurs' problem is not the manager. It definitely is. There's the transfers policy of buying backup players instead of buying players who have the ambition to challenge. But we're not even talking about challenging, Michael. Spurs shouldn't be losing 5 of 11 games with this squad of players. We shouldn't have lost 5 of 11 already. That's not on the transfer policy. That's on the manager. Big up to Abdul Ghani, who said, big up Savva, best show on YouTube, bro. What next? Big up to you, my man. Listen, we're always innovating. We're always doing different things. We're always trying to find different content for you. And I want my platform to be a channel where people debate football. I want to be a football channel that discusses football. As I've always said, my man, not you, but when people go, oh, Savva's not a Spurs fan because he doesn't just say we're great and we're going to smash this team and that team. If you want that, there's millions of channels to go and watch. This is a football channel where people can come and discuss football, the good, the bad, the ugly, the hard questions. Not just, oh, we all love Spurs, we're brilliant. It's not a YouTube channel, is it? What are we doing here? Aussie Adam has said, Savva, do you think Harry Kane masked Spurs mentality? 30 goals a year pulls you out of a lot of problems. I don't think he masked the mentality because even when Harry was there, we had a lot of these same problems. The mentality at Spurs, I keep hearing, this is a very different squad to 3 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like when we keep saying, oh, Conte's team and Jose's team, this is a very different squad. And we all turn around and go, oh, look what he's done in 18 months, which I don't think is a lot. Right? But then when it starts not going well, we start wanting to put this into Jose and Conte's team. This isn't the same squad. Jose had Sessegnon, Doherty, Aurier, Sanchez, Rodon, Dyer, Davis, Conte had Longley, Ndombele, Winks, Skips, Lo Celso, Bergwijn. This isn't that squad. So, you know what I mean? Look, I'm not saying you've said this, Aussie Adam, but this is what I mean. People want to float between, oh, it's always been like this at Spurs. But this isn't the same squad. This isn't the same squad. Where are Ethan Bates? Big up Ethan has said he wasn't a good enough footballer, but Højbjerg 100% had that leadership. What we need is Højbjerg's leadership with a bit better football, all right? I completely agree with you, Ethan. Absolutely agree with you. Completely agree with you. Bobby Andrews, how we doing, my man? I said, afternoon, Sav. If this question has been asked already, my bad. But what's your thoughts about the news? Tottenham are looking to sign Harry Winks in January. Let me repeat the name. Surely not. Where have you seen that? Bobby Andrews, you're winding me up, mate. Bobby Andrews, you naughty boy. You're winding me up. Has anyone else seen this? Mate, nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me, but I haven't seen this. Oliver, yeah, I think you just need leaders. You know, you need leaders, and we haven't got any. And the manager said himself he didn't want to buy leaders. He didn't want to buy that. And it's like, why? Why would you ever say that? Big up to each and every you. We'll go to some more questions in a minute. We'll dip in and dip out. The White Rooster said, Ange won't last long now. Where does Levy go next? Not just managerially, but politically. Oh, we're going political. Even the mainstream press are now starting to ask questions. Look, the White Rooster, for me, I thought the press would start asking questions because when you scratch beneath the surface, Ange hasn't done a good job. Anyone who says he has, they are lying to themselves. And I'm going to show you some stuff in a minute. They're lying to themselves. It's absolutely mad. Let me know in the chat who would like to see a few facts that are facts that shows you what Ange has done. And we'll come to that in a minute. Too darn soulful said Savva. So by the way, I won't be able to get to everyone's comments. It's just simply impossible, but I will try. Savva, more and more rumors about dressing room splits. All will become apparent very soon, he thinks. It should sure explain our inconsistency. As I've said, would you want to play in this system? Be brutally honest. This is where I think football fans, not you, football fans can get silly. They go, oh my God, we attack. As a footballer, you want to be in an organized system. We are so far from organized, it's unreal. As a football club, we are so far from organized. Big up Phil who said this is one of the most genuine Spurs channels on YouTube. Smash the likes and give this man a sub. Thank you very much, Phil. I do appreciate it. Yes, we are ticking down towards 14,250. We're 16 subscribers away. So if people could do that, that would be absolutely amazing. By the way, my man Perchi has just sent this to me. Bobby Andrews, I take it all back, brother. Perchi has just sent me this. Shock Tottenham midfielder return mooted in January raid that could represent 22 million loss. Oh my God, I kind of want it to happen. It's just we're just a joke of a club, aren't we? At times, we truly are. I know. Sorry, I'm not allowed to say that. We're the best. We're the best. It's just mental, isn't it? Oh, Abby, yeah. What do you do? What do you do? And Nigel said that would be the funniest thing in football, bringing Winks home. Come home, Harry. We always said we wanted Harry to come home. We just didn't realize it was this Harry. By the way, yeah, there's 316 of you in here. Smash the like button. There's only 98 likes, which is less than 1 in 3. Let's get that to 150, 200. And there's been 188 votes on the question, on the poll. If you haven't voted in the poll, please do. It says, has Ange done a good job in 18 months? 25% have said yes. 44% have said no. I expected more, 30%, and he has exceeded my expectations. 2% have had their expectations exceeded. Where are we? Sorry, where was we? Here we go. Let's go to some more of these questions. There's so many people in the chat. Ben has said, Rich, you talking to me? Me? If you're Levy, do you give him another? Is this to me or someone else? If you're Levy, do you give him another penny? Nope. No. I don't. As much as I don't like Daniel Levy as a chairman, I wouldn't give this man money. I think he's wasted a hell of a lot of money. A hell of a lot of money this manager has wasted. Thank you for the 2 people that just became subscribers. Thank you very much. And thank you to the people who have just started liking the show. Never better late than never. Let's go to a few more questions. Sam Smith said, question, would you take Graham Potter as the next manager? This is an interesting one. Look, I think Graham Potter's a brilliant coach. Is he a manager that's going to come in and work with Daniel Levy? Probably, because he won't ask for the earth. I don't see him as strong enough, if I'm honest. I like him as a coach. I like him as a manager. I don't see him as strong enough. I think you need somebody who is organized and somebody, again, who is that leader themselves. I think you need a leader in that changing room. Yeah. And I don't see him as that. Sorry for me, Sam Smith. I like him as a manager. I think he's done very well at Brighton, and before that, I think difficult situation at Chelsea. But yeah, I think he's good. Bella, big up Bella. It's a question. Next 5 games. By the way, put a capital Q so I know it's questions, people, rather than just statements. Next 5 games, if we get negative results, is Ange gone? I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know if he will. I don't think he will, but for me, you all know what I would do. So look, I don't think he will, which is why I don't sit here going out, get him out. I just don't rate him as a manager. I don't know, but we're going to look at some stats and facts in a minute that are going to show a few things. And then you guys and girls can make your mind up, right? You guys can make your mind up. Big up Bella. Jackal 70 said, would any of our non-English players get an England team if they were legible? Any of Spurs' non-English players? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't think any of our forwards do. No. I don't think any of our midfielders do. No. I guess the question would start being, would Van der Ven, Romero? I don't know. I mean, I don't think either of them are better than John Stones. I actually like Guay. I don't know if they would. That's a great question, Jackal. That's a great question. Is it Jack L or Jackal? I might have been saying it wrong all this time. Big up to Anthony Mayo has said the cup game against Man U is pivotal for Ange, but who do you replace him with? Plus the players who are unhappy have been playing meh. Yeah, but the players who are unhappy will be playing meh because they're unhappy. That's natural. The manager's job is to lift them, to give them the belief, to make them play well. If they're playing in a system and a formation that they don't believe in, of course they're going to be playing meh, right? Who would I replace him with? I would look for a proper manager, somebody who looks at the opposition. For me, I like Iraola of Bournemouth. I like Thomas Frank of Brentford. I think these are managers that with limited funds have done brilliantly. I like Eddie Howe as a coach. I think he's a coach. Look, do any of these take us on to win leagues? No, but I think this club needs a proper manager that can implement a system which isn't gung-ho and silly. That's just me. Lynn Simpson has said, question, Savva, is it me or how is it that Ange seems to be praised rather than be criticised by the media? I think it's turning, Lynn. I think we started to see it turn. I think everyone sees us have some attacking football every now and then and started praising this man religiously. But again, I'm going to show you some things in a minute, Lynn, which the media have started talking about. I saw a good article today when they were talking about the last 12 months. I've been talking about this for a long time, and I'll show you in a minute. Big up to you, Lynn. Sam Smith now, it's a question. Will the Aussie Celtic fans follow Ange? Listen, look, when I said this the other day, I've got no problem with anyone supporting Spurs, right? What I hate is when people have followed Ange to this club and then but then don't tell the truth. Oh, he's brilliant. All of the same fans have said if he has a transfer window he doesn't like, he'll walk. Ange in his second season gets better. Ange does this. Ange does that. None of these things they said have become true. Look, anyone can support Tottenham Hotspur. Of course they can. Everyone's allowed to. I don't make that rule. But it's the number of fans that have followed him here that are now telling me like I'm a fake fan. It just beggars belief. Rum Scully said, what would you think about a 3-4-1-2, Romero, Dragusin, Van der Ven? Yeah, absolutely. Look, Rum Scully, I've put this up so many times for people to see. So many times I put this up for people to see, right? So many times, right? This is the sort of thing I would do. Again, forget which players are where. This is the sort of thing I would do if I was Spurs, right? With a 3 at the back, you could do the 3-4-1-2, the 3-4-2-1. These are the sort of things I would do if I was Spurs. I think managers should play to their strengths, and that is where our strengths are, but we don't do it. Big up. I just saw my mate Lena Tuz in the chat. Where's my mate Alex? I saw in the chat. Oh, you got it terribly wrong about our Galatasaray, didn't you, mate? It's the sort of thing we do, Mafoos. It's the sort of thing we do. Miss Bunnytown said, yes, I think he's doing what I expect. Well, let's have a look. We're going to have a look at that right now. Big up, Lena. Yeah, I've noticed I've not really seen you since you got it completely dreadfully wrong about Galatasaray. Terribly wrong. You convinced me for weeks and weeks. You'll be wrong. I'll be there in the chat when we've battered Galatasaray. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Big up Jordan Beckford. Absolutely, my man. I truly think that Lang is a problem as well. Absolutely. Multi-channel. See, now I like watching Galatasaray. You know what? Galatasaray look very organised, and look how much money they spend as a club. All of this, he's not been backed. Look how much money they spend. Look how well they do in the transfer market. They just won the Europa League, and he plays free at the back, but they play some really good football, but mix it up with being very solid and difficult to beat. Really good manager. Really good manager, Gasparini. Did Potter actually do a good job at Brighton? Considering since he left, they haven't really got any worse. Of course, he did a very good job at Brighton. People have got to remember how long Brighton have been in the Premier League for. You know, when people go, oh, look, you know, like when people go, oh, but look, you praise Bournemouth and we're above them, or Brentford and we're above them. It's like, yeah, but look how long these clubs have been in the Premier League. Look how small these clubs are. Did a great job at Brighton. Let's be brutally honest. He did a very, very good job. Savva, Potter is a very good coach. So if he isn't strong enough, you have answered your own question. Levy is the problem. Lynn, that doesn't answer the problem at all. Just because I don't think Potter is strong enough doesn't mean Levy is a problem. Of course he is, but there are managers that are strong enough that can deal with that. The first time Ange loses a game with 2 goals or more onwards from now on, I'll irreversibly start calling for his head. I don't need him to lose by 2 or more. When you lose a game, you lose a game. It's my face who said I would honestly love Marco Silva to coach Spurs. He seems like a leader. Again, another manager with what he's got. This guy loses his best players every year. Look at what a job he does. Again, very, very good manager. Barry has said, how come Spurs fans say that Ange needs more time and the players are not adapting? It's Ange needs adapting, not the players. Completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. We've got the manager that doesn't adapt. We've got a very poor manager. I've said it before. Big up. Look at my man Tobes in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, YouTube royalty has entered the chat. Said I would still stick with Ange. Boo. Just kidding. Just kidding. He's massively flawed and needs a lot of improvement on how we are as a team defensively, and also how he utilizes players to the best of their ability. Look, if we remove the first bit, yes, he is massively flawed. Yes, he needs to improve a lot. And you're absolutely right. How we're set up defensively and how he utilizes players isn't good enough. I completely agree with you on that front, Tobes. We're just different in terms of thinking of, I wouldn't keep him, you would. But big up Tobes. If you haven't, please do subscribe to Tapping Tobes. You all know him. What a top guy. And Tobes is one of the real nice guys out there. And see what this is. You can disagree with someone's football opinion without them making videos about you. It's brilliant, isn't it? Big up. I don't know, Tobes, have you made a video about me this morning? Big up to you, my man. AV has said, if your house is on fire, you must put it out first, then think and find a solution. I completely agree with you. I don't think he's dealt with the things internally he needs to deal with. I really don't. I think he's just gone all gung-ho. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And fans have lapped it up, right? Oliver Rooks has said, Frank is underrated. I agree. You can see his players play for him. He's improved a lot of players. Lewis Potter was brought in as an attacking player. He's playing left wing back. Whenever you watch Brentford, what you know from them, they're going to give their all. They're well organised. Listen, what a job he's done there in the last 5-6 years, however long he's been there. And bearing in mind, in that 5-6 years, they got promoted to the Premier League. I think he's done, again, another very good manager who doesn't try and reinvent the wheel for me, Oliver. You know, I think Ange is trying to reinvent a wheel that doesn't need to be reinvented, if we're going to be brutally honest. James Clark has said, hi, Savva, do you think Newcastle should be included in the top 4 race? Dismissed by many. When we don't have Europe and have the players to get 4th or 5th, Gordon, Isak, Bruno. Listen, I think with Newcastle, yes, you've got some very good footballers. I think with Newcastle, it's about keeping them all fit. It feels to me that whenever I watch Newcastle, there's a couple of them always missing. You're playing once a week, no Europe. Right. Agreed. Keep Isak fit. You've got a 25, 30 goal a season, man. Keep Gordon fit, you've got one of the best wingers in the league. Keep Bruno Guimaraes fit, he's a very good midfielder, right? For me, I think once you get your defense back as well, you've got a good team. Should you be in the Champions League conversation? Why not? I think 7 or 8 clubs are. I think it's going to be about consistency and form. But yeah, look, I mean, you've had an interesting start to the season, but still above us, which is madness. Yeah, we are. We should be a 3 at the back team with the squad we've got. We should be, but we're not. We're a gung-ho 2 at the back. Everyone else flies forward. Don't worry about defending team. Big up, Dominic Carney has said this team suits someone like Conte, and surely. Well, it's mad because when Conte was here, we didn't give him what he needed. Now Ange has got what I think someone like Jose and Conte would love. It's so backwards at this football club. It's so backwards. Phil Coyes has said, I feel we need a manager who the players respect and look up to. I think Rude will be a good shout. Perfect, purely for his achievements in the game as a player. Look, lots of people have mentioned Ruud van Nistelrooy. I'm not sure he's done enough in football for me to say he should be the Spurs manager. But let's watch his journey. Let's see what he does for me. Tapping Tobes, big up coming in again and said, for me, I've had it as a 4-2-3-1. A Dogi and Porro not inverting, but instead giving us width like Rose and Walker used to. Yes, 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 Tobes. Saar +1 of Basuma, Ben in midfield. Kulu, right attacking midfielder, but tucked in, matters of the 10. Yes, 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 yes. Abso-bloody-lutely, Tobes. Do you know what? I've said this time and time again. And listen, Tobes, forget the 11. This was done at the beginning of the season before Maddison came into midfield, right? If you had something like this, right? Like this. If you had just something like this, you can, the front three you can put how you want. You've got all 3 centre-backs in their natural position where they've played before for club and country. You've got Udogie and Porro in their natural positions where they play. You've got Son off the front scoring goals where he's most dangerous. You've got Maddison as a number 10, right? For me, it just screams common sense, Tobes, for me. The John Cooper Show. Why does no Spurs fan ever condemn Joe Lewis? We do, but there's a lot of hoo-ha about, is he involved with the club? Does he own it anymore? Blah, 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 all of this kind of nonsense. Listen, Enoch, Levy, Lewis, all of them, no time for any of them. Bobby, I don't know, because some fans seem to think he's doing brilliantly. Some fans seem to think he's doing brilliantly, Bobby. But listen, I'm going to come to this, Bobby. Let's have a look at this, shall we? Big up Tobes in the chat. It's like royalty, isn't it? So, he's tired of the cyclical change, and I think Ange's issues are fixable, but it's up to Ange to fix from a tactical perspective. Tobes, can I ask a question off the back of that, though? I agree with you. I don't like the cyclical change. Love the word cyclical, by the way. I agree with you. Things are fixable. But Tobes, he's shown in 18 months, he's not fixing it. From game to game, he doesn't fix it. He's not fixing it. Proximo has said the problem is the club and we as supporters. We expect miracles. I don't expect miracles at all. I just don't expect to lose 10 in 18 or 17 in 39. Here we go. That's led me on nicely. When people say silly things like this, big up Proximo, but when they say silly things like this, let's look at some facts, shall we? Absolutely not. I would not take Lee Carsley. Absolutely not. Which one of Gray, Berg, Van Moor, Odeberg do you think is closest to becoming a starter? For me, none of them should be. If I'm completely honest, none of them should be. Who is closest? I don't even know. When the squad is fit, none of them, right? When the squad is fit, none of them. Probably Gray or Moore. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, Romero sent back injured. Right, guys and girls in the chat, big up to each and every one of you. Who would like to see a few tables to show? Again, when people say that I hear this a lot, that I use fake stats, yeah? That they're my facts, not the real facts, right? Let's have a look, right? Let's have a look. Here we go. So this is the Premier League this season. We're going to work our way backwards. All right. This is the Premier League this season. As you can see, this is done by home form and away form. All right. If we look at Spurs, 10th in the table, you can see again, look at the absolutely horrific away form. 3 defeats on the road already, 2 defeats at home already. Again, look, good goal difference. Sure, we score a lot of goals against the lesser teams. Other than that, you look at that, that is bang average, right? We're sitting bang average, 10th in the table. We've lost 5 games. Yeah. So we are in the top 10. We've lost the most games of anyone in that top 10. But don't forget, everybody, Proximo said that I want miracles. I don't want miracles. I don't want a manager that loses 5 of 11. 5 of 11. If we have a look at teams that have also lost 5 of 11, right? If we look down, Everton have lost 5 of their 11 games. Everton are one of the favourites to get relegated. Ipswich have lost 5 of 11. They've got the same loss record as us. 2 losses at home, 3 away. Right? This is what I mean. These are facts. I'm not making this up. Now, let's now move away, shall we, from the last 11 games. That's this season. Now let's look at the last 28 games. I've got 3 of these tables. Now, this is the last 28 games, right? The last 28 games. Look at Spurs again. Again, look at the record. 12 wins, 12 defeats, 12 defeats. Look at the number of defeats in these games. Look at the number of defeats. We've got fans saying, are you expecting miracles? Over the course of 28 games, we are below Bournemouth. We're below Man United in the last 28 games, who sacked Ten Hag for being crap. We're below Newcastle. I'm told Eddie Howe's not a good manager. We're below Newcastle. Bournemouth, we've got 2 points more than Everton in the last 28 games. What are we doing here? Why cannot people look at this and say how bad this is? This is the last 28, by the way. But look again. 12 defeats. Look at the number of defeats. How many in that table have more defeats than us? Have a look. The first one is Fulham in 13th. Fulham, Wolves and Brentford. Look at that. Look at that, right? I can't make this up. These are facts. These are facts. So I've shown you over 11 games. Now I'm showing you over 28 games. Yeah? Over 28 games, the goal difference, yeah, is 0. Sorry, by the way, this is the last 28 games of last season, by the way. Sorry. This is the last 28 games of last season, right? Now, here's the big one. This is the last 28 games of last season. Look at that. Bournemouth with their new manager doing better than Ange. Look at it. Man United with Ten Hag who got sacked doing better, right? Are you ready? This is the big one, people. This is the last calendar year, right? This is Tottenham Hotspur. Oh, hang on. Who's just left my house? Oh. This is Tottenham Hotspur from the 1st of November 2023 to the 15th of November 2024. All right? Have a look at this. Now tell me, when I'm seeing people rating this manager's an 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10. Look at this. Look at this. This is the last 38 games up to and including Ipswich. Look at that. So over a whole calendar year, Tottenham Hotspur, right? Look how far off the top 4 we are. Look how far off the top 4. Let's look at a few highlights, right? So we're 11 points back off of Villa, who had 16 to 17 games in the Europa, mixed in the Conference League and now the Champions League, right? We are 14 points off of that Chelsea team, who Chelsea are terrible, blah, blah, blah. Look how bad they are, right? Chelsea. Right? Have a look. In that time, we've lost 8 home games. We've lost 8 home games in a calendar year. 8. That is absolutely disgusting. Now let's look at all of the other people in the top 13. Has anyone lost 8 home games? Nope. You have to go down to Nottingham Forest in 14th to see somebody that's lost more than 8 home games. Brentford only lost 5 home games. Palace lost 8 home games. Luton in that time have lost 7 home games. Burnley 7. Look, I'm not lying, guys and girls. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. It's there to see. It is there to see. I get this a lot. A lot of people say, "Oh, Savva wants us to lose." I don't want us to lose. We're losing. Look at that. 9 away defeats. 9 away defeats. Yeah. 8 and 7 and 8 home defeats. Look at that. Look at that. Now, let's have a look over the last 38 games. 3 more points than Fulham, who have sold Paulinho, who have sold Mitrovic, their best players, right? Fulham, Brighton Hove Albion, they've got a brand new manager. They've got a brand new manager, haven't they? They sacked a manager. Look at them, 3 points behind us. West Ham are dreadful. West Ham are absolutely awful, apparently. In the last 38 games, they got 3 points less than us. Man United, who sacked Ten Hag because he was crap. We all said Ten Hag was crap. 4 more points than us. Bournemouth in that time frame, 4 more points than us. Newcastle, 5 more points than us. Villa, 11 more points than us. Chelsea, 14 more points than us. Arsenal in that time, 28 more points than us. Again, guys and girls, please tell me if I'm wrong here. What am I missing? And you can see here, I've not made this up. Look at the top. I didn't put this table together, by the way. This is off a website. Have a look at this. From the 1st of November, 2023 to the 15th of November. Look at the state of that. Right? Then you hear, let's remove that a 1 second. Then you hear he's changing the mentality. Is he? We're better to watch, are we? Look at that. Oh, he's changing the culture. He's changing the mentality. What's he doing? I'm hearing, look at the mess he picked up. I saw a YouTube yesterday say, look at the mess he picked up. Now, Antonio Conte down as 4th, and then Stellini and Mason took over and we went down to 8th. But look at the mess he picked up. Sorry, can you hear my dog howling? 1 second. Look at the mess he picked up, right? Look at the mess. So he picked up a club that were 8th. We weren't an 8th place team, were we? It was a false narrative. And in the last calendar year, he's got us 9th. Like, look at what he's done since he's joined. Look how he's grown us. Look how he's taken us. Guys, tell me, am I wrong here? Am I too harsh on this manager? See, that makes sense. Why are you campaigning? So why are you campaigning? Z, that makes no sense. So why are you campaigning for the manager to be sacked? What are you talking about? That you got to write that again properly. Sorry, Z, you've done what you normally do. You've come in, not been able to write it properly, and look a bit silly. Again, I'm asking. Please, can someone tell me why, when I say I don't rate this manager and he's done a poor job, are we basing this manager off of 10 games at the beginning of the season? Because I don't get it. I don't get it. When you sit and look at those things that I have not made up, right? You take away this new manager bounce. Look at the state of it. Ethan, and big up Ethan. Sorry, where is it? Ethan Bates has said, I don't think you're harsh enough, Savva. I don't think I'm harsh enough. I think I'm very polite. I say I don't rate him. What I want to say about him is how effing shite he is. But no, he's only had 18 months. All right, but we've gone like that since he joined the football club. We've gone like that. I just don't get it. Okay, but Yasser, explain what I've just shown to you then. Explain what I've just shown to you. Because what we hear is whenever Spurs fans talk about their players, right? Oh my God, Romero's brilliant. Bentancur's brilliant. Basuma's brilliant. Madison's brilliant. Son, Solanke, Kulu's brilliant. Van der Ven, Romero, Porro, Adogi. All right. Why are we 9th in the form table for a year? You are too harsh. Look at the European Cup. We are in the quarters for giving this season. Okay, but KM1804. I just asked you about the league. So I'm too harsh because we made the quarterfinals of the League Cup. Right? Again, let's have a look. Again, for those that have just joined, have a look. 38 Premier League games, the last 38. It's a calendar year. Look at the state of it. Look at the absolute state of it. 8 home defeats. White Hart Lane's a fortress. Look at the state of it. Bournemouth are a club who came up a few years ago, changed their manager. What did Bournemouth spend on players? Hardly anything. Look at them. How have they got 4 more points than us in the last calendar year? How? How have they lost 4 less games at their ground than we have? And the damning stat here is in a calendar year, Spurs have won 3 Premier League away games in a calendar year. That is atrocious. To give you an idea, that's the same as Brentford, Palace, and Wolves. Look at the state of that stat. Look at it. Villa, 9. Chelsea, 8. Arsenal, 12. Liverpool, 11. City, 13. Even Bournemouth, 7. Spurs have won 3. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I'm just so confused. Big up to Ethan Bates, who said, I'm personally getting tired of having conversations about adaptation when the system itself is fundamentally flawed. Being a sometimes team isn't enough. Ethan, I completely agree with you. I hear so many times, he's got to adapt. He's got to adapt. Then I hear people going, it's not who he is. He doesn't adapt. I just don't get it. Ethan, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much for the super chat. But again, guys, look at that league table. Big up, Ethan. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. Look at that league table and tell me this guy's done a good job. And again, as I said, I did it over the last 28 games of last season, 9th. The last 38 games, 9th. The first 11 games this season, 10th. All the tables have him sitting mid-table. What are we doing here? Why are people then doing videos going, I'd give him an 8 out of 10? For what? But again, based on what? What is this based on? I love this. When I see these comments, video complete, you do this. Why would we? Why should this team be losing that many games? Why? Not true. If you actually listen to what I said he had a great first 10 games of the season, but football isn't judged on 10 games of the season. Every Spurs supporter knows that after that 10 games, I was the one going, we still won't get Champions League. We're not good enough. So let's block that person. Idiot. Sorry, idiots like that. Z is another one, just says stupid things. Name a manager out there who's better than Ange. I mean, what are we doing here? Name a manager who's better than Ange. What are we doing? Look at the state of football fans. These are the sort of people you have to deal with. Name a manager who's better than Ange. Guys and girls in the chat right now, please start listing managers who are better than Ange. Please start listing managers who are better than Ange. Big Ange has changed the style of play. Yes, we're losing more. Change the culture of the club. How? Instill a winning mentality. He hasn't. We're losing. Sorry, this is madness. How has he instilled it? Z, please, will you come on? Z, will you come on the chat? I look at the lies of football. How can anyone take this person seriously? He's put in a winning mentality whilst losing more games than we have for years and years and years. How on earth, what on earth are we doing? Ethan, it is mad, isn't it? These people shouldn't be allowed on the internet. It is worrying. It is absolutely worrying. So now 10 games into the season, so it doesn't make a season. What do you mean? People, when you're putting comments in, please can you explain what you mean? Please can you explain what you mean? The name a better manager scrub. I just don't get it. I could name you loads. Look at the 9, for example, that have done better over the last 38 games. How many of them have done it with weaker squads? It's madness. Some people saying Thomas Frank. Yeah. Iriola, Howe, Frank, Emery. It's absolutely. I genuinely don't know what some people watch. I genuinely don't know what. Big up, Lena. I genuinely don't know. Too many basing an opinion on XG and possession stats. Stats will never replace your gut feeling or the eye test. Agreed. Woeful. Aside from infits and starts and have been since Chelsea last year, I've just shown everybody, and still Emma Hayes. I'd take Emma Hayes over this guy. I would. I'd take Emma Hayes over this guy. It's madness. Yes. So again, Inzaghi. Go away, Wayne. Big up Wayne Holland. But Wayne Holland, he supports Leicester City. Leicester City, right, who just got promoted, have lost as many games as Tottenham Hotspur this season. 5. Now, I was having this chat with Wayne this morning over WhatsApp. I expect Leicester City, no offence, to lose 5 of their first 11 games. They're a newly promoted Premier League club. We're Tottenham Hotspur. We're not newly promoted. We spent hundreds of millions. And the manager has lost 5 of 11 and 3 away games in a year. He's won 3 away games in a year. I don't know the answer to this. I've not checked this out. I don't know if anyone else can find this. Can anyone else tell me a manager that in a year only won 3 or less away games? I don't know. Yeah, Lena, don't take it so seriously. Don't take it so seriously. Z, no offense, mate. Everyone's just seen what you've just said. Name a better manager than Ange, and you said he's instilled a winning mentality. How has he instilled a winning mentality when we've lost 10 of our last 18 games? Sorry, mate. You're proving to be a massive clown on this forum now. Come on. Let's see if Z wants to come on. I bet Z has not got the balls to get on this stream. Let's see. Yeah? Let's see. Z, come on. Would you like to come on? By the way, I'm going to put the link in. Only for Z. No one else try and come on. You won't be allowed in. I don't care who you are. No one else will be allowed in. I don't care if it's my mum from the grave. You're not allowed in. Z, come on. There it is. Z, let's see you come on and tell me the winning mentality. Let's see. Door on tour. So let's keep it real. I'm a Forest fan. So who would you like as your manager then? You had a good manager in the past, but can't win. Again, it's not about, this is when other fans from other fan bases say things like this. This is not about who's going to come in and win a title at Spurs. I don't expect to. This is about not losing 10 in 18, not being mid-table over a year. There's a huge difference. A huge difference. Yeah, of course you are. I don't believe anyone's employed you. You're that stupid. There you go. I said it. Sorry, you pissed me off. You're busy trolling because you just chat shit. I'm going to block this person in a minute. So stupid. Where are we? Savva, you. I don't know what that means. Yeah, me. What, as a better manager? Lena says, Savva, you've got to watch a few clips of Sweden's last 5 games in the Nation League. The truly balanced, that truly balanced and offensive football of Tottenham would be a dream come true. We're excellent in a 3-4-2-1. Mate, do you know how many managers adapt and actually look good in a 3 at the back? And this manager can't do it. William has said, yes, you said football isn't judged on the first 10 games of the season, so why judge it now? Right? William, I've just shown you the last 10, 28, 38. How many games do you need to see? When you say judging it now, we've lost half our games. We've lost half our games. What are we doing here? I get it, right? William, tell me 3 good things Ange has done. Name me 3 good things Ange has done. Let's get a concise conversation going. Unfortunately, he is. Unfortunately, Z. I see Z in other chats as well. And every comment Z puts in any channel he goes into is just so stupid. Like, he's just a complete troll. Let's block him. There we go. We've banned him and moved him on. He's an idiot. I used to think he was funny, but he's just got silly now. Here we go. I would keep Ange because I do think he needs time. But we're not playing good football. Video complete. Was it good against Palace? Was it good against Ipswich? Was it good against Galatasaray? Was it good in the first half against Villa? Was it good when we lost to Newcastle? Was it good when we drew with Leicester? Mate, video complete. Can I tell you my issue with you? My issue with you, video complete. Before the season, you were telling me we had a brilliant transfer window and would challenge for the title. You were saying we were amazing. Now it's all changed that he needs time. You're doing what most of the fan base does. You're doing what most of the fan base does. You've been proven wrong. You've been proven wrong. And what you do instead of acknowledging it is you now flip-flop. Again, another person, you're more than welcome to come on, but it's the lies that get me. We're playing good football. Oh my God. Are we? Are we? Absolutely. Gone. Ethan, I can accept losing. We're Tottenham. We're used to losing some games. Every club loses games. City, Liverpool, Arsenal, they lose games. But 10 in 18, 17 in 39 is madness. It's madness. It's the volume of games that we're losing. And it doesn't matter what the facts say. Let me ask you this. If when I had shown you this, Arsenal were the team in 9th and not Tottenham, what would we be saying about Arteta? What would we be saying? I need someone to explain to me how, in the last calendar year, this guy's kicked us on. He's got us lower than when Stellini and Mason had it. And Stellini and Mason aren't managers. I completely agree with you. He doesn't respect the opposition. We never actually counter against the opposition. We don't have a manager that goes in and says, you know what? They play this way. We're going to nullify them here or there. Doesn't do it. Never does it. I mean, you're allowed to find the football entertaining. I don't find losing more often than not entertaining. I don't know what people are watching. So each to their own. Big up to you, Miss Bunny. Each to their own. But I just feel like we have some spells in games where we rattle off 2-3 quick goals. Phil Coyes. Absolutely. It's the manner of how we're losing games as well. Let's be fair. Ipswich turned up, knew how to beat us, and did it very well. Agree. James Clark, the only team in the league to lose to Palace and the only team to lose to Ipswich. How much more money did Ange get in the last window? Battered by Palace. Listen, this is what I mean. It doesn't seem to matter what this manager does. People love him. It doesn't. Look at the hate. Look at the hate Nuno got. AVB, Sherwood. Look at the hate these managers got. They didn't have a lose record like this. AVB didn't lose games like we're losing now. We've already done this conversation, Doran Talk. We've had this earlier on. There's many. I would love a Gasparini. I would love a Nagelsmann. I would love an Iriola. I would love a Thomas Frank. A football manager that says, who are we playing this week? Right, let's set out to beat them. Not, let's just do the same thing week in, week out. Right? It's just absolutely madness. Who would you like? I'm not saying you, but I get this all the time. Who would you have that's better? There's many better. Look at Arsenal. The manager has turned the club around, and yes, they're going for a blip, but the fans want him out, and yet Ange is looked upon a hero. Levels of the club, right? It's the levels of the club. Our fans look at us 9th over 12 calendar months with 3 away wins and think that we're getting better. And it doesn't matter. You know, those people doing videos, I'll give them an 8 out of 10. I present my facts. No, don't worry. What? What do you mean, don't worry? This absolutely, Ethan. People confuse 15-minute spells in games for good. Absolutely, my man. Oliver said, Sav, this Romero is the world's best centre-back, needs to stop. If he was a defensive Juve with Cellini and Bonucci, wouldn't have sold him 1v1. Listen, as I said, I think Romero's a good defender, no more, no less. I think he's always been erratic at this football club. But again, we put the manager, pedestal, yeah? Bentancur, bench midfielder, Kulu. This year, Kulu, oh, look at him. He's one of the best midfielders in the league. Games against Ipswich, games against Palace. Where is he? Where's those best midfielders in the league? Romero's the same at the back. I agree with this. It's the fear of going back to defensive managers. I want a pragmatic manager. Of course I wouldn't take Lampard. Of course I wouldn't. I wouldn't take Lampard. Listen, I'll take him when he's 100 over this guy. I really, really would. This. Yeah, I agree with this, Miss Bunny. I agree. Lena said, it's simple enough. If Postecoglou doesn't win at least one trophy this season, he needs to be sacked. The second we go out of all 3 cup competitions that same evening, not the next morning, I'm done. For me, listen, go and win the League Cup. Great. Go and win the League Cup. It's going to be tough to do, but go and win the League Cup. Great. Want to see a trophy. I really, really do. Want to see a trophy. At the moment, though, the pathway to getting there in the league has just been horrible. Daniela said 10 losses in 18 is only around 55% to 60% win record. 10 losses in 18. It don't matter what number we want to put after it, Daniela. 10 losses in 18 games is just absolutely shocking. It's just absolutely shocking. I actually think it's 11 in 19 now, but either way. Levy has made this club so unattractive for top managers, but I would take any other manager at the moment that it's not using the same suicidal high line. Again, he doesn't change for anything. He really doesn't, does he? Svarog has said this bunch, Lang, Munn, Ange, need to go together with Levy. I agree. I look at Lang, I look at Munn, I look at Ange. What do these people do? What have we become? Dax has said, Savva, it's because most of them feel silly for singing his song, but don't want to admit he's getting worse. Again, as I said, factually, he's getting worse. Factually, it's going like that. Factually. As I've said to people, if you see small incremental increases throughout the season, sure, but we're not. And people can't bring themselves. There are big YouTube channels that can't turn around and say, we don't like Ange, right? Because they get invited to games. They're sponsored. Yeah, they don't want to upset their plethora of followers. I'll keep it real. I'll say it as it is. Spurs this calendar year have won 13, lost 12, drawn 4. That's 8th best this year. Is this squad 8th best? I would argue at least 4 or 5 better squads than Spurs. Listen, I agree. I just think it's not good enough. This, big up Ben Kaufman, the mod father. Yes, just a sensible football manager. Not 10 behind the ball and not gung-ho. Yes, 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 yes. And you know what, Ben? A little bit more yes. That's all it needs. That's all it needs. Eunice said, it's not that we lost. It's who we lost to and the manner we lost. 1 goal and our heads drop. The manager crosses his arms and looks down. I find him uninspiring. I completely agree with you. Look, I just don't rate him. Nye just said, bang on Ethan. We have 15, 20-minute spells that gets us victories at home. Otherwise, we are pretty average. Can't agree more. Absolutely. Phil Coy says, Savva, we don't have a choice but to see this play out. Levy won't sack Ange. Of course we don't have a choice, but I'm allowed to give an opinion, right? Whether I like the manager or not, I'm not saying he's going anywhere. But for me, I won't have people lying about him and saying how great he's doing. Right? Ben has said, you're all being knocked bandy by a wink, smile, and a husky mate. Have some respect for yourself. I agree. Can't agree more. Big up to Alex, who put in a super chat and has said, is it just me who doesn't care anymore? Levy with an angry face. Alex, big up to you. Listen, I care because I want my club to do better. I care because I think we're a laughing stock. I care because now the mainstream media are starting to get hold of all these stories. It's mad. It's mad. Video complete. But again, why? What's Ange done that this guy's not done? Give some context to your comments. Context. See, again, look, not De Zerbi, not Frank. What has Ange done that these managers haven't? Ange is better than Rooney. I think he's improving the mentality. How? How is he improving the mentality? We've just lost 2 of our 3 Premier League games to Ipswich and Palace. There's no mentality. What are we doing? Again, it's the lies. Sorry, William. What is he improving? What mentality? We're 9th over a year. What mentality? We've lost 9 away games in a year and won 3. What mentality has he changed? Stop using the word think. Give me an answer. What mentality has he changed? It's crap. It's all crap. It's all crap, isn't it? It's all crap, Mohammed. Listen, at the moment, I'm so annoyed that we've got Ange as manager that I probably would, but I don't even know about him. I wasn't that impressed with him at Barca, but agreed. Ethan, agreed. Yes, if I say I don't want Ange, it apparently means I want to go back to Conte, 10 behind the ball. I don't at all. I agree. James, Spurs fan, I said we've become scared of change. So these Ange fans are trying to convince themselves it will change. The problem is we've seen over 18 months he won't change. We've seen his inability to adapt and change, but people are still hanging on to that he might. Dave has said Spurs are a laughingstock and will remain to be so until Levy goes. It's no different to Ashley at Newcastle. Now they are giants again. Toon. Madness. Absolutely madness. Absolutely madness. I just don't know. And ruined Romero's mentality. Do you know what? I just don't get. Look at this. Look at this. Using a picture of my wife on her wedding day. Look at this. This is what we've got, people. That is a picture of my wife on my wedding day. I don't know where this person has got this picture from, but how disgusting is this? How beautiful is my wife, by the way, but how disgusting is this? Let this sink in. Over a football opinion, someone's going to put my wife on a thumbnail. Yun, that's not a bit weird. That's massively weird. Right? My wife doesn't want to be on YouTube. What are we doing here? That person's getting blocked and banned. What are we doing here? People, keep it football. It's absolutely appalling. That's absolutely. But you know, like all those people that go, oh, I bet Savva's no fun because I don't like Ange. I bet Savva's no fun. Oh, how does his wife put up with? It's just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, look, the person's gone. We got rid of that low life. We got rid of them. But it is what it is. Guys. Jake has said, when you talk about mentality, I think of winning big away games with a massive atmosphere. We are no way close to that. I think the mentality is among the worst in the league. I agree. But again, you've got fans. Yeah. You've got fans that keep saying he's changing the mentality. Here we go, Jake. I'll tell you what I'm going to say, right? There's a few words, right? There's a few words that drive me nuts that people use as throwaway lines. When I challenge them, they've got no answer, right? Process. What's the process? Don't know what it is. Project. What's the project? Youth project. The kids aren't playing. The mentality. What mentality? He'll adapt. When's he going to adapt? All of these things, they're just throwaway lines that people say, aren't they? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, putting my wife on is just not the one. It is. Ren, I've got a problem with you, though. I'm going to call you out to your face. I saw you slagging me right off on the Hotspur Hippies channel the other night. I saw you slagging me right off. You are two-faced, all right? I'm not going to block you. I saw you slagging me right off, joining in the abuse when it was fashionable to do so. Yeah, the police ain't going to do it. There's no worry there. But again, this is why when YouTubers make videos and allow people to abuse you, people think it's all right to do it. Yeah? People think it's all right to do it. Mate, it's all right. Brian, it's all right, mate. They've gone. But they've gone. It's all good. Do you think we're just scared we might get Southgate? Listen, look, worrying about who we might get next doesn't change for me how bad this manager's doing. That's the problem for me. I think we can talk a lot about what ifs. For me, let's look at it Let's not look at Conte or Jose or Nuno. I'm looking at Ange Postecoglou as manager. In his tenure, it's not been good, right? It's not been good, right? It's not been good. And we can go, oh my God, look at Jose, right? Look at Conte, look at Nuno, look at Sherwood. I'm looking at this manager with this group of players should not be losing 5 of 11, should not be winning 3 away games in a calendar year. 3 Premier League away games in a year. How embarrassed should we be? And people go, mentality's changing. Really? Teams love playing us away. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Look, guys and girls, I'm going to leave it there. It was only going to be a quick. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll give it another 10 minutes. We'll go to an hour and 30. We'll go to an hour and 30. All day, every day, and a month on Sundays. All day would I take Poch back. Poch with this 11 would be playing a back three. I know it. Poch with this 11 would play. So Poch with this 11 would play a back three. Right? That's what I would do. I've said it before. I'll say it again. For me, he's not getting the best out of anyone. He's not getting the best out of the keeper. He's not getting the best out of Porro, Adogi, Romero. He's not getting the best out of any of our midfielders. He's not getting the best out of Johnson. He doesn't get the best out of Son, Maddison. I agree. I think Poch would do very well with this squad. I'm not sitting here saying, bring back Poch. We know it's not going to happen. But what I am saying is there are managers out there that would look at this squad and go, I've got enough there to work with. And the fans that are telling me now, Phil, that, oh, but look at the players you've got to work with. Most of these fans were ones telling me we're going to be in a title race. Most of these ones were telling me we were winning a league last year. Now, all of a sudden, we're not doing well. It's not Ange, it's the players. If Ange wins the FA Cup, Europa or Carabao, would you keep him? I mean, look, any manager that wins anything, hats off, they've won a trophy. Yeah, sure. But he's got to sort out this league form, and he doesn't. This is the problem for me, Ratish. Everyone keeps saying he's going to change it, and he doesn't. And we've got fans that just sit there. And the worst excuse for me is, oh, I don't want to change the manager because we're always changing managers. That shouldn't mean you keep a poor manager. And by the way, guys and girls, listen, I don't have a problem with a single YouTuber out there. I don't have a problem with anybody. I don't look at this person and go, oh, I hate that person. I hate this person, their content. There are people I disagree with, but I'm not going to sit here and make videos about them. I'm not going to attack them personally like that. I think it's a really weak sign of character to do that. What I will do is say to any of those YouTubers that talk about me, come on my show, invite me on your show. That's what I'll do. I'll be a grown up about it. When you have to start making attack videos about other YouTubers, what does it say about your lack of ability to do content? It's sad. And that's all of you. I put this to all YouTube creators that just make videos about other people. I don't see there's any need for it. Do your own content. You've got a platform, do your own content. Stop talking about others. You know, if you're going to talk about them in passing, I'll sit here right now and say, listen, I completely disagree with, let's use someone that I like, that I disagree with, right? I completely disagree with Tapping Tobes, where he says, I'd keep this manager. Completely disagree. I've got all the love and respect in the world for Tapping Tobes. Me and Dave Harris, Irish Hotspur, we disagree on so much. Me and Dave Harris talk away from football, right? Lovely guy. We really respect each other. Yeah? I don't need to make a video about him. I can turn around and go, I disagree with Dave on this or that. I don't need to make a video about him. Anyway, let's have a look. So this guy's backtracking big time. Mentality cannot just come overnight, and that has been a problem for generations. And I think Levy would... But, William, you said he's changing it. Which one is it? You said it won't come overnight. Now, before you said he's changed it. What's he changed it to? Miss Bunny, they've all disappointed me, but maybe, just maybe, if we played a number 10 in the number 10, we might see the top player that he is, but we don't do it. Ethan has said, you know, the narrative will spin to how bad the transfer window was when Ange doesn't improve this season, like all of them said. We'll have absolutely. We had people saying we're going to finish third. We're going to finish on 81 points. We're going to be in a title challenge. Yeah, now all of a sudden the players aren't good enough. But you knew these players were here when you were predicting title challenges. Ben said, I'm going to make about Kuva and his obsession with Kit Kats. Yeah, let's all talk about Kuva. Big up to Kuva. Much love. Ryan Trestane said, question, Savva, have you got any stories from how you supported Tottenham? When I was a kid, when I was a very little baby, I was taken when I was 2. Not that I remember it. My first game, I was taken when I was 2. And I was told I was put on my uncle's shoulders. And that's why he was a big, huge Tottenham Hotspur fan and took me to the games when I was a kid. I didn't I didn't grow up with a dad, so he took me when I was 2, and yeah, that's how I started supporting Spurs. So the first game I went to, I was 2. I don't remember it, but that's when I've been going to White Hart Lane since I was 2. And since then we've seen some UEFA Cups, UEFA Cup. We've seen FA Cups, we've seen League Cups, and now we're just seeing this. So it's gone mad. But listen, guys and girls, I'm going to leave it there. Big up to Savcap1. Did I say Savcap1? Said, who's a better manager than Ange? Who is he better than? I agree. Listen, I agree. There are managers I think he would be better than. But when we're asking, people are saying, who's better than Ange? What are we doing here? Like, why are we not allowed to be honest? Miss Bunny, absolutely. Maturity is about respecting others' opinions, being able to have a civil... Listen, the way I see it is this. As I've said, there are many YouTubers. I watch their content and I think, God, what are you talking about? That is, don't come on here and go, right, I've just watched a video from, I'm just going to pick a random YouTuber. I've just watched Sean on Spurs Talk Show, who's a friend of mine, by the way. Oh my God, what a terrible thing. He said this, look at him. I don't see what you gain from that. I don't see what I gain from looking at a snapshot of someone's comments and talking about it. But as I said, each to their own. I've always liked to think that I've got the ability to turn on my camera, have a football chat, engage with my audience, bring guests on or on my own and just run with it. Right? For me, I just think if you can't do that, don't knock people that can. Right? Do you know what I mean? Don't knock the people that can. By the way, guys and girls, I'm going to leave it there. Listen, I'm going to put this link in, all right? This link here. Where is it? This link here. We are going to be live at, let me quickly edit this stream. We're going to be live at, let me just double check this. There we go. 4:45 today. So we're going to be live at 4:45 for a watch along on Big Up TV of England v Ireland. Again, so no pressure. No, nothing there. No, oh my God, it's Spurs and blah, blah, blah. On Big Up TV, bigup.com. Please come over and join me. It would really help. We've currently got 41 members and we're looking to grow. We've only done one stream on there. There is the link. Please smash that link. I'll put it in my community. If you get there at 4:45, we'll watch the England game together. It's a really good site, really good functions, really good features. And then at 7:30 tonight on YouTube, 7:30 on YouTube, the Spurs review. I'm going to be joined by Ian Lubin. I'm going to be joined by Danny from the Hotspur Hood. I'm going to be joined by Dan from the Spurs Dan List. I'm also going to be joined by Marlon from Spurs Kings TV as we'll get deep down and dirty into all things Tottenham Hotspur. It's just, you just click that link. You just click that link and it will allow you to sign up. Guys, girls, much love. Thank you very much for all the likes, all the subscribers during this chat. Thank you. I think we've gone up by a few actually, which is quite nice. Have we gone up by a few? We have gone up by a few. So thank you very much. Apologies for trolls. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for your super chats. I'll see you for the watch along at 4:45 and then Spurs review at 7:30 p.m. Take care, everyone. And as always, come on, you Spurs.